to receive it. Why am I thinking I don't have it? You said that by his stripes I'm healed, so why I have to believe the doctor's report? You says I'm more than a conqueror, so why do I have to see myself as a victim? Strongholds. See, we have to cast down strongholds and everything that try to exalt itself against the will of God. Amen? So from now on, how do you see yourself? I see myself victorious. I see myself healed. I see myself delivered. I see myself thinking the mind of Christ. I see myself walking in the blessings of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. How do I see myself? I see myself, my kids being saved. I see myself a marriage made in heaven. I see myself in this big house. I see myself with my own business. How do you see yourself? How? Strongholds. Strongholds tears us down. And it destroys us. Then we start saying wrong things. Not only do we say wrong things, we start looking bad. It's a weight. It's something that weighs you down. It's something that bends you over. It's something that makes you depressed. It's something that makes you sick in your body. It's something that makes you look sick in your face. Strongholds. I don't know why God still got me talking about this and not moving it on. We've been carrying strongholds too long. I've been forgiven. I've been set free. The enemy gonna always try to remind us of our past. But as the enemy try to remind me of my past, I like what the preacher says, talk to my shoe. Think about it. If he can talk to your shoe, what does that really saying? He's up under my feet. So if you want to write me a letter, talk to my shoe because you up under my feet. Amen? We talking about tearing down everything that try to exalt itself against God. No more, matter of fact, I'm going to decree it, no more wrong thinking. If God says you heal, you heal. If God says you got more than enough, you got more than enough. I speak things that I don't see, but I believe. I don't speak what I don't want. Wait a minute. So let me go back here again. Let me give a quick testimony. I broke my foot, my right foot, some years ago. And the doctor says, you're going to have surgery. Okay? I said, no, doc, no surgery. He said, no, it's broke here, my right foot. He said, it's broke here, you need surgery? I said, no, doc, I don't need surgery. It's according to your faith. Everything I did, I walked my faith out. I believe God. So I kept going back to the doctor. He said, the next week I went back to the doctor. He says, wow, I ain't seen healing like this. What happened? I said, God. Now, he didn't believe in God. But I didn't argue with him because I knew what God was doing in my foot. Now, I'm saying that for a reason. I am a warrior. I prayed, even though I had the church to touch and agree with me and lay hands on my foot, but I prayed too. God want to hear us pray. Why? We are warriors. Somebody say that with me. We are warriors. How do you see yourself? I see myself as a warrior. I see myself can overcome any situation. So what the doctor says, you're going to have to live with that. God, by your stripes, I'm healed. And I need to stand right there and believe God for my healing until it manifests. If you said I got a house, I believe you until it manifests. Strongholds. Strongholds. Casting down every thought that try to exalt itself against God. That's why oftentimes when I'm praying, I say, give me the mind of Christ. Because the enemy will try to get in your mind and just have you like what James says, when you just like an unstable man in all your ways. Unstable. 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 You can't think right because you got strongholds. Let me read this. And we was in 2 Corinthians in chapter 10. And I'm reading from the ESV. And I want you to understand what does it says in the ESV. For the weapon of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power. Did y'all hear that? Divine power. Divine power is when God intervened on your behalf. So we have divine power. Now I want you to hear it. Listen to what this says. Divine power to destroy strongholds. Come on, is anybody excited about that? Strongholds being broke now. Strongholds being broke over my life. Strongholds being broke over my kids' life. Strongholds being broke over all of my loved ones' life. We have divine power because God steps in and gives us that divine to destroy strongholds. Woo, glory. I mean, that's enough for me to be excited because God, you said in your word, you give me divine power to destroy strongholds. What does divine mean? I in the tween with you. I come right in the midst to give you the power to tread over serpents and scorpions. Come on. Y'all got to see that. I'm giving you power to tread on the serpents and the scorpion and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you by any means. We're coming against them strongholds. I want to be able to see when pastor preaching in here that we can just raise our hand, that we can just pray in the spirit when nothing is holding us back. We need to float down them stairs, and we need to come in with an attitude of worship. Matter of fact, don't come in here worship, bring worship with you. Come on, think about it. Don't wait till we get in the door to worship. Get out your car, worship. Get in your car and worship. Oh, hallelujah. Other words, what I'm saying, bring the worship with you so the atmosphere can be set so God can come in and heal. Heal my spirit, heal my mind, heal my body, heal my loved ones. Strongholds. Strongholds. I mean, stuff been holding us down before we was born because we were passed on from generation to generation. I'm talking about when you see stuff as a kid that's planted inside of you. You grow up with that tree. You grow up with this tree. You grow up with that tree. You don't know what to think. Strongholds. Come against every single thing that tried to hold you down. I like Sister Lilia. When she come in, she raise her hand. She know how to worship. That's the way we need to come in here. So let's practice this. Let's practice this. Every time we get ready to come in the house of God, let's just practice this. Not today, but starting Sunday. I want y'all to, we're building our mind up on something. Okay? Let's come in here with an attitude of worship. Let's come in here with an attitude of receiving. I can't receive thinking about what Joe did to me last week. That's right. Huh? I can't receive because I'm bitter with you. I can't receive because I'm holding something in my heart. I can't receive because I'm hatred because you've done something to me. Let it go. I want to be free. I want it like they say, free as a bird. I want to be able to have nothing to hold me down. When I'm standing up here, I want to worship God like you not even here. Because I don't care about who I see. It's me and God, and that's the way we need to come in here. Strongholds coming off your mind. how's we going to think, and how's we going to minister, and how's we going to lay hands on somebody that need us, somebody that look up to us, and we bow down.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
If you bow down and somebody saying, pray for me, and you talking about, oh, in your mind, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. God don't. That's strongholds. I got to know that when I pray, you got to know for yourself that when you pray, God hears you. In 1 John 5, I believe it is, not only does he hear me, he answers me. I have to believe in my heart that when I'm stuck there for a second, that when I come and I get in my seat, that me and God gonna have fun up in here. If I want to dance, I can dance. If I want to shout, I can shout. If I want to run, I can run. If I want to pray in the Spirit, I can pray in the Spirit. I got to know that it's me and God. I don't need nothing holding me down. I don't need no bad thinking. Amen? Let me read that one more again. Because I like that. I like what it says. For the weapons of our warfare are not of flesh, but have divine power to destroy. So what are we doing? We're coming against every single thing that's been holding us down from birth. Amen? Whatever you saw as a kid, I'm coming against wrong thinking. I'm coming against the things that's been holding you down, the battle that's been in your mind. I was ministering, and I ain't gonna call her now, I was ministering to a lady recently. And this is what God gave me. People's complex on every side. They don't know what to believe. And I was talking to her about church. And I know they got this battle. They got this battle where I don't believe God. Is there a God? Did God ever exist? That's a stronghold. But every time I see that individual, I see a little something. Why? Because I'm coming against that mind. The thinking. It's the thinking that holds us down. Think about it. It's the thinking. I heard T.D. Jakes say something, and then we're going to read a couple more scriptures. He says, have you ever went to sleep and you got 8 hours of sleep, but you woke up tired and you sweating? That's strongholds. The enemy is plaguing the mind while you're sleeping. So, to avoid that, why don't you just go before God and say, God, you said in your word that when I lie down that my sleep will be sweet. Huh? That way I don't have nothing plaguing me in the middle of the night. Because when I lie down, I have to believe God's word says that my sleep is going to be sweet. And when I go to sleep, I'm going to dream on pleasant things. I had some dreams of, and God been giving these to me often, of the church. He's been showing me big visions and just exploring in certain areas of the church. Those are the type of dreams that I like. And I asked God, what does this mean? Because God would not hide nothing from you. When he's giving you a dream, there's a purpose behind the dream. So when you go home tonight, try it. God, you said in your word that when I lie down, I will have sweet sleep. And ask him for dreams and visions, because he said I give you dreams and I give you visions. Don't have me to talk about the valley of the dry bones. I got one more I want to read. And I'm reading from the ESV. I'm glad God gave me this. And it's in Revelation 12 and 7. Can somebody read it from King James? And then I'm going to read it from the ESV. And then what I want to do is, there's a few scriptures that I wanted to give you all. But then we got the warfare prayer. And the reason we got the warfare prayer is because these are scriptures based on warfare. They're not on healing or love or whatever. They're based on war. How do we go into war? Let me stop there for a second. God is giving another direction. How do you go into war? Do anybody know? God just gave me something, dropped in my spirit. If you get prepared for war, how do you go into war? Do you know? How do you go into war?
You have to glade yourself with the armor. Put on the armor.
No, I'm talking about a natural war. How do you go into war? Okay. I got a couple different answers. Watch this. If Uncle Sam called me right now and he says, you going to Iraq next month. It's not even training. It's not even training. God just gave you this. That is. He already dropped it in my spirit that I'm victorious in the midst of a war. So where does it start at? In my mind. So when God says, I need 180,000 chosen warrior, it had already started in their mind. Think about it. Why? Because God chose 100, and you heard from the ESV, 180,000 chosen warriors. How many people in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are 9 individuals that's chosen for war. So when you're going into a battle, don't complain. I'm saying that. You're chosen. You're chosen for war. You're chosen for a battle. Everybody not equipped to fight.
All right, sure.
Just know with the mindset, I'm prepared. I know God is leading me in this area. I have victory in this area. I'm already a conqueror in this area. I already won. Even if you just even think about Jehoshaphat. Let me just give you about 10 singers. And let me just, wound them up and me send them in. Think about it. Because you're chosen. So, how do you see yourself? I love saying that. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself a victim? Or do you see yourself victorious? Do you see yourself under? Or do you see yourself over? If he told me, I'm the head and not the tail, I'm the lender and not the borrower, I'm above and not beneath, why don't I believe this instead of a lie? Your friend or someone you may be close to says, well, let me just use this. Child, you ain't going to get that house. Stay in that studio. I'm just using it for an example. That's a lie. That comes from the devil. If he says, I give you houses and land that you didn't build full of all good things, let me stand down. Me and the wife, we believe for a house. It's a set time. I'm not in a hurry because I want to be able to get in that house when God says that in my timing is right. Because if I go in my flush and buy it tomorrow, I might be kicked out in 6 months because I can't pay the mortgage. Huh? Because I went in my flush. I shared some stuff with Pastor. And I'm going to release it. I drove the Mercedes twice. And I says, no, you need to take something off because I know what I want to pay. Now watch this. Be anxious for nothing but by prayer and supplication. Let your request be made known to God. If I had just took that car, carried it home, I've been sitting there fighting with myself. Now I don't have no extra money to be able to pay this or short my tires. Strongholds. So I says, you know what, Lord? You guide me in certain areas. When you guide me, I get that car. I was sharing with my wife today. We're going to get a house. but I'm waiting on the Lord. Now, I'm not going to allow the enemy to tell me I can't have it. If it's in this word, it's a promise. You go and buy a car, you got a little thing in the glove department. It tells you everything about that car. Well, this tells me everything about my life. It tells me where I'm supposed to be, and it tells me what I shouldn't be doing. It tells me how I should think, and it tells me how I shouldn't think. It tells me I'm supposed to prosper and not be sick and not be in debt. This is what it tells me. So watch this. Let me just use this if I can. Okay, you paying your tithes, you giving your offering, but you barely making it. And you paying your bills. I'm using this. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep paying your tithes. Keep giving your offering. Keep paying your bills. That's a form of trust. I trust you, God, because I'm not looking at what I see. I'm looking at your promise.
All right.
Come against every stronghold, because the enemy will sure enough tell you how in the world you're going to pay that mortgage and you paying your tithes. Think about it. When you be faithful to God, it is God's job to be faithful to you. It is God's job to open the windows up for you. I don't know how I got over there, but God had me there for a reason. I got one more scripture. Where am I in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. Somebody give me that.
And there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against the angels. And they fell not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Okay, now listen to that. There was war in heaven. Am I right? There was war in heaven, right? So, you know for a fact, if it was war in heaven, there's definitely going to be war in your personal life.
All right.
Now here is the dragon, which is the serpent, which is the devil. He's trying to start conflict in heaven. Let me read it in the ESV. Now war arose in heaven. Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought back. Now listen to that. They fought back. Now, if you walk in the way God wants you to walk, and you spending time with God, and you praying like you should, you don't have to be concerned about the enemy fighting back because you already won. The only time you have to be concerned about the enemy fighting back is if you don't know if you're going to win or not. I don't know. I'm bagging up. No, I ain't bagging up. I'm coming towards you because I already won this fight. Amen? I don't have to run from no devil. I don't have to run from no demon. I'll just tell him to shut up and come out. Think about it. God, you said you give me power over him. Come out. Let me read this. But he was defeated, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. Okay, now what I gave you was warfare prayer, right? What I want you to do on your quiet time, I want you to kind of go through these because I'm certain, I promise you, there's going to be somebody in your life that's dealing with something. I don't know what it may be, but I promise you, you're going to have to reflect back to this warfare prayer and find something to stand on behalf of that individual person. Did anybody get anything out of this tonight? Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. And I was trying to be obedient to the time. But I want to say this, and I'm done, and I'm going to release it to Pastor. Put on the mind of Christ. Stop thinking the wrong stuff. If it's in here, I believe it. If God, you telling me that I'm a conqueror, I believe it. If you telling me by your stripes I'm healed, I believe it.
Amen.
If you tell me that that house belongs to me, I believe it.
Amen.
If you tell me, I use my illustration. and you may have heard me say this several times. I have 5 daughters. They're not living a life that I would want them to live. But there's a scripture where God says, when you get saved, I save your whole household. They don't have to live in my house to be a part of my house because you're part of my body. You're part of my household. You have the same DNA as I have. So God still have to honor his word. Amen? All right. Can somebody do me one favor? And whoever want to do it, I'm going to release it. And then I'm going to give you the mic because I want you to get this. Who wants to do me one warfare prayer off this list? Just one. Anybody.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that.
Then after that, we're going to release it to Pastor. Yes, Pastor?
Release it to sister.
Okay, we're going to release to Sister Dukes. Okay, here you go, Sister Karen.
Deliver me from my strong enemy, from them that are too strong for me. That's the fourth